I'm Mia, and there's so much snow outside. But yeah, no, right now it's currently Sunday afternoon, so it's the beginning of Snowmageddon, if you will. And I still have about an hour and a half before I'm gonna need to shovel. So I'm gonna try to get a look done. And maybe after too. Who's to say? But yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do something a little more cool tone today. I know, it's also like 9 degrees, I think, so. But this is from Beaute. This is the Unoriginal Nudes palette, the eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. I know I've said it every time I use this palette, but all of the mattes are labeled as Unoriginal Nude, whatever number it is, so I'm just gonna refer to the mattes as the number instead of repeating myself 18 times, you know? I'm going to start off with a little bit of the shades 3 and 4, and I'm just going to use those to get something in the crease. Just a little light wash of color. We don't want to go too hard too fast, you know? But no, today is Sunday, January 25th, also known as the beginning of the awful, evil snow that is coming in. I mean, it is currently snowing, so there's no stopping that. But like, it's one of those days that we're gonna have to shovel like 2 or 3 times, which is just stupid, but also at the same time, we're not gonna just wait for everything tomorrow morning and then hate ourselves even more then. So since it's supposed to start doing the most at like 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish, we're gonna shovel then, throw down some salt, and hope and pray for tomorrow morning. Also, it is my friend's birthday. Love you, Cass. I can't do this with the brush in my hand, but pshaw. Pshaw, a little pshaw. I'm sorry, I am shedding so much recently. I also accidentally just gave myself another layer because I was shaving my face a little and I missed and caught my hair, so. But luckily it was one of the short pieces, so hopefully you're not going to notice it that much. But I was like, oh, lovely. And then I'm going to go in with some of the shade 11, which is this like slate gray almost. This isn't something I usually do, so things could go very bad very quickly. And I kind of regret this, but I didn't want to do my other idea, which was just a different color scheme of something I had done like a month or 2 ago, so we're stuck with this instead. Oh, good heavens. Oh, so my father had surgery on Friday the 23rd. He had bowel resection. He had a bowel resection. So, surgery was 7:15 a.m. You know, my friend was even asking that. I was like, oh, do you know when he's getting home? I'm like, oh, no clue. Blah, 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 blah. Get home yesterday, you know, my mother has her stuff. I'm like, lady, it's 3 o'clock. I also left work early. Well, I got stuck there an hour later, Friday night, so my plan was, you know, my manager came in, and she, even though she makes the schedule, she never knows when anyone's leaving. She's like, oh, what time are you here until? I'm like, oh, 4. I'm like, I was hoping maybe 3, since, you know, I stayed late yesterday. She's like, yeah. She's like, you can leave earlier if you want. I'm like, girl, say less. I'm like, we had 3 customers in the hour and a half that we overlapped. I'm like, no. I'm just going back in with 3 and 4 to help blend out the edges. But, you know, get home. My mother has like a bag and is like looking on her phone. I'm like, what you doing? She's like, well, your father's getting released from the hospital today. I'm like, you know, this was yesterday, Saturday the 24th. He had his surgery on Friday the 23rd. I'm like, they're letting him out after a day? She's like, I guess. My friend was like, oh, is it because of the snow? I'm like, I don't know. Turns out their qualifications for his test he needed to pass to leave is to see that he could pass gas because they took out a foot of his lower intestine, smaller intestine. So, make sure that his bowel functions are doing what they're supposed to do. Which, you know, makes sense, but like, he had surgery 32 hours before he got released. Got released 32 hours after surgery. Same words. I'm like, so he's home. He's in pain. As one would be, even though it's only a laparoscopic procedure, but still. And then I'm going to take some of the NYX glitter primer. I know, I haven't used her in a while. She's just been on the sidelines a little. I'm sorry. I still appreciate you, but you're just... I've been lazy recently. It's funny. I got paid Friday. Just with... That's how paychecks work. Well, technically I got paid Thursday, because Capital One usually pays me a day or two early. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna order... I'm like, there are these two nice cardigans from Old Navy. I'm like, I'm gonna order them, you know, Thursday, the 22nd. Like, I'm gonna do no rush shipping because I don't need them anytime soon. And with this, no, I don't want those games. Got a notification, shipped out same day. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it got delivered on the 23rd. I'm like, no rush shipping, huh? Both of them are getting returned. They don't fit because everything's cropped these days. I'm like, I've got big, a little bit of belly. I'm like, I can't have cropped things. They just aren't. And also, if I lean over, I don't want it riding up, you know? I think I'm going to be adventurous and take some of the shade Ignorance is Bliss, which is like kind of a silver holographic. I haven't used a color like this. Or just a shade like this. So we're going to see what happens. The movie Some Like It Hot got turned into a musical, and it's currently touring. And very oftentimes, my mother and I will go see just like random musicals. We go, hey, we need something to do. So she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, how? I'm like, oh, I was going to enter into lottery seat tickets for those because I always do for everything that comes through. You know, that's the only reason we want to go see Mrs. Doubtfire is because I want tickets. She's like, okay. She's like, I'm going to buy these tickets anyways. A, just in case. B, they were $8 for Sunday. Also, like, the very last row of balcony seats. But, like, $8 a piece on game time. So I'm like, okay. She's like, February 1st, 1 o'clock. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'm working. I completely forgot because I don't work on Sunday. So I was like, ooh. And then I'm going to take some of the shade 12 and mix with a little 11. So I can... There's Amber holographic glitter on me now. So I can do a little smudgy smudge. But, you know, I texted her. I'm like, I done goofed. She's like, yeah, you did. I'm like, again, I don't usually work Sundays. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. But I did end up winning lottery tickets for January 29th, which is a Thursday. So, you know, I think I'm out at 4 o'clock on that day too. I mean, I have to be in at 8 o'clock that day, but I'm at least out at 4. And, you know, that was kind of the plan too. She's like, I'm gonna buy the tickets just in case you don't win. I'm like, okay. I'm like, if I win lottery tickets though, we're gonna go to that show, right? She's like, yeah. Because $16 isn't a ride or die. She can, in fact, live with losing that money. But it works out extra because I have Friday off. Because I'm doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm like, huh. I also might hit overtime, and I don't know if the new regional manager will appreciate that. District. I met her. She seemed perfectly fine. But my manager said that she's, like, very uptight about hours, so... My manager's also getting surgery, apparently. Second week of February, she's like, oh, you're gonna have to change your schedule so you can stay later. I'm like, I didn't know. I'm like, well, considering the schedule isn't in any of our systems yet, or printed out, I didn't think it was. She's like, I know, but with ours, I'm like, or it makes sense to have one person on until 6, then have a baker on, and then another shift lead for closing. I'm like, girl. I'm like, whatever. But no, I need to go in early Sunday, and I need to go in early on Thursday, so. But I'm obviously gonna try to get my makeup done on Friday. Fingers crossed. Actually, no fingers crossed. I need to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. honestly, I think this is going to be it for the eyes. Kind of liking how this turned out already. And I don't really like cool tones on me. But, you know, say lovey. I need to go find some lashes, but I should be back in a second. And I just bit my tongue. Hi, I'm back with some lashes on. So let's move on to the base, I guess. So I'm going to take my Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. These are freezing. Oh my god, that is so cold. Ooh, I finally watched Sinners last night, and there is no reasoning for me to see this late. This late besides procrastination, because I just never had the time to go see it when it was released in the spring, and then just it was one of those movies that I was gonna watch by myself no matter what, and I just haven't had enough time to do so. Like, I have HBO Max on my phone, and sometimes I've thought about trying to watch a movie while doing my makeup and talking to the camera, but I'm like, there's only so many things I can multitask at once, and I don't think it's that. But I watched it last night. It is, I mean, I know the general consensus is that it's really good, but like, it is so insanely good, and I understand why everybody loves it. So, finally crossed that off my list. Fun fact, I didn't go to sleep until like 2:30, but my father ended up waking up and coming downstairs like right when I finished the movie. We're like, oh, we're gonna try to find something to watch, and I'm like, we could try to start one battle after another. That's not a movie I'm watching with anybody either, and I'm like, maybe not. So we ended up watching The Kingsman, the Golden Circle. So I also had to take a gummy to help me fall asleep because 2 o'clock, wide awake. I could have stayed awake too. And then this is from NYX Professional Makeup. This is the Plump Right Back Serum Primer. Because, like, I do want to try to watch at least a good handful of Oscar-nominated movies this year. Or at least before the Oscars. Like, I know I want to watch Sorry Baby. And I think that Rose Byrne movie, the If I Had Legs I'd Kick You movie, is coming on to HBO Max in a few days. So, maybe. But I like watching the Oscars anyways, and I'm like, wow, I don't know very many of these movies. I also watched The Running Man a week or two ago, which is funny because the girl that plays his wife, Glenn Powell's wife, in The Running Man is in Sinners. She's Perlene, which is funny because the first time I saw her was in The Batman. That's something I was gonna watch that last night too, and I'm like, you know what, I have 3 hours to kill, like, before I watch Sinners. And I was like, no, I'm gonna actually watch something off my watch list for once. I know, who am I? I didn't know I knew how to do that either. But I'm going to take my L'Oreal Paris True Match Super Blendable Foundation in the shade N1. I'm gonna pump some onto the back of a palette. I feel like that's gonna be either way too much or way too little, but I guess I'll find out in a few moments. And then I'm going to take my Temp 2 Perfect Canvas Color Corrector in the shade Green and do it's like 1.5, if we're being honest here. That wasn't a full squeeze. I did have a mixing knife that came with a palette at one point. I don't know where I put it. But unfortunately, I think I'm just going to mix this with my finger, because when I mix it in with the brush absorbs all the green and it doesn't get mixed in properly, like evenly. So, and if it's just on my finger, not mixed properly, it's a lot easier to fix otherwise. Sorry. There's a movie coming out next month that I want to see called How to Make a Killin'. Ironically, also with Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley. And I'm not 100% sold on Margaret Qualley quite yet, but I saw the trailer a bunch of times, and I think it looks interesting. So, I think that comes out on my mother's birthday, I think. I want to say it's February 20th. Also, found out my manager's birthday is February 23rd, which is also my grandfather's birthday. I'm like, y'all need to, like, these February babies they gotta go. But then I'm just gonna start to blend this in with my Makeup by Mario brush because she's beautiful and perfect and covers a good portion of my face. So I don't need to take as long. Oh, I was gonna... Friday morning, I was like, okay. I'm like, I finished with all my things I need to do relatively early. Like 10, 12. Like, a little after 10. I'm like, okay. I'm like, if I go to the bank now, I'll be back by the time my milk delivery guy gets in. Because he's usually a little closer to 11. If not, after 11. So I'm like, okay. Like, I was getting my jacket on. And I keep the doors unlocked on Fridays because milk guy. And he's usually there at, you know, that one specific time, but sometimes he's early. Like, on Wednesday, he showed up, like, a little before I clocked in, actually. And I'm like, dude, like, you're lucky I'm here, not somebody else. But our building is currently being worked on, to turn into college dorms, like, above us. So they have to keep going through our basement. They're also redoing our basement free of charge because they have to get through there anyways to reroute some stuff, so they're just gonna redo the whole basement. So they've been coming and taking measurements a lot, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, our measurements have not changed since the last 4 times you've measured them in the past month and a half. I'm like, this is not how it's gonna go. And like, one of them was saying something, he's like, oh, we can probably get started before Valentine's Day. I'm like, you better not get started before Valentine's Day. That's one of the busiest days of the year. We can't lose access to our entire downstairs and try to fit things upstairs where we really don't have space for all that. Like, we're not gonna be allowed to be in the basement for like a month, and I'm like, this is just not ideal. And then I'm gonna go in with the Kulfi Main Match Concealer in the shade Fudge Notch, which probably isn't the right formula to go in with this foundation, but I want to add like a little creaminess. It sounds wrong when I say it, but like, that's the best way I can describe it. Just add a little extra hydration back into my face if I can. But like, realistically, they're gonna start end of February, and we probably won't have access to our downstairs area for the entirety of March, which is really funny because that's where our bathroom is. And they're like, oh, we'll give you a key so you guys can go in Suffolk. I'm like, I haven't been in the Suffolk building in, oh god, like, it was before my brother was born, so before 2008. Like, I remember being in there. I remember going up the stupid elevator to the kitchen. My father used to be a sous chef for Suffolk University. So sometimes he would take me on days that he had to do, like, inventory and stuff. Like, not to, like, actual shifts, but, like, small, meaningless things I would be brought with. But I'm gonna be gone for... Sorry, I had, like, fluff or something in my lashes. Why are you here? But I'm gonna be gone for 6 days in March, so that's really what I deserve in life. Next, I'm gonna take the Makeup Forever Artist Color Crayon in the shade Luminous Taupe, so I can do a little bit of contour. What are you gonna do? So my New York trip is in March, right? And I was saying something about my friend, and I wasn't trying to say or insinuate anything. Like, I legitimately wasn't. Like, it was an offhanded comment. But I was like, you know, I'm a little, not like sad that it's gonna be a solo trip, but like, I'm gonna lose my mind, basically. Because I'm not gonna be speaking to anybody besides, like, staff at stores. And like, when I had said that previously over the summer, my friend was like, you can always just like FaceTime me. I'm like, I could. I'm like, I don't want to, you know, take time out of your day, blah, 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 blah. So I said something about the other day, and my friend's like, oh my god, you should have said something, I would have come with you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you said you don't like New York like that, so I wasn't going to be like, hey, do you want to come with me to a place that you don't really like anyways? Like, I wasn't going to do that. They're like, give me a week or two to figure out my financial situation, and I'll see if I can come with you. I'm like, I'm like, I legitimately wasn't like trying to be like, hey, wink wink, nudge nudge, you want to come with me? Blah 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 blah. But my friend's like, what train are you taking? I'm like, this one at this time. This is my seat. They're like, why are you paying business prices? They're like, it's $142. I'm like, it was $72 when I booked it. They're like, okay. So some freak booked the seat across from me. And they're probably going to talk about like birds and astrology and space for the entire 3.5-hour ride. Like, it's just so... Also, this is about to be a lot of blush, so I've warned you. I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty Blush Filter Liquid Blushes. I'm gonna go in with 2 shades. I'm gonna first start with Strawberry Cream and keep that right back here a little, you know? And I'm also gonna take the shade Bubblegum. And I really don't want to drag it too far into my face. I really want to kind of keep it here if I can. But they're like, I booked my train ticket. I'm like, I thought you said you're gonna wait a week or 2 to see if you could afford it. They're like, I'm like, push on, like, and I'm just gonna blend this out all together at this. I really don't care. But then they're like, what hotel are you staying at? I'm like, this one. It's, yes, it's in Times Square, but they don't do a real security deposit. So, only thing you need to pay there's the resort fee and $1 security hold. They're like, I'm stupid. It's written on the Google document that we created. I'm like, yeah. They booked their hotel the day after we started talking about them coming with me. I'm like, I thought you said. They're like, I know, but I'd like to know that my plans are solidified. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I legitimately wasn't trying to like guilt trip you into coming with me, but they're like, we can have an adventure now. I'm like, okay. So we have a Google Doc of things that we want to do. I've already bought tickets for the Museum of American Natural History, or whatever it's called. The night of the museum. Something's not right here. I'm gonna go back in with a little of just strawberry cream on the side. Actually, both sides. But we have that. They are going to book tickets for the orchestra because they want to go the day that we get in. Because our train is supposedly comes in at 4:48, so the orchestra is at 8:30, so we'll be fine. But like, obviously they're gonna buy that because that was something that they want to do. I was like, I'll buy the. I mean, they want to go to the museum too. Like, that was their suggestion, but I'll pay that one at least. Which is funny because I was originally going to suggest the Museum of Modern Art because they like more like modern and contemporary art now. So I was going to suggest that, but if they want the Museum of Natural History, they can do that instead. Well, we can do that instead. And then I'm going to go in with the Nabla Cosmetics Close Up Blur and Powder Blush in the shade Petite. Who could have foreseen this coming? Perhaps, possibly, moi. And I'm just going to do that. Right. That is my hair. Thankfully, it was still attached to my head. Because like I said, I've just been shedding so much lately. Like, not that it's a negative thing, and technically it's going to save me money. Also, I brought this in way more than I thought I was going to, so not so great, not so fresh. Like, the only, again, not negative because it's saving me money, is just, it reduces the amount of shows I can see. But we're still going to enter the lottery for at least Sunday and Monday night, so if we get something, we get something. If we don't, we don't. It's one of those things. And I'm also going to go in with the tiniest bit of the Terra 28 GetSet Blur Set Matte Powder Blush in this shade Sunset Shirley. Just like the tiniest bit on the back. This was a collab with Tony Bravo, but I just want just a little more. But they're gonna ride in with me Saturday afternoon into late evening. Well, early evening, because it's 5 o'clock. And they're gonna leave Tuesday afternoon. So we have 2 full days, and we're gonna stay like in the Times Square Midtown area Tuesday, so we don't wander too far from the hotel, because they're just gonna put their stuff in my room. And then we'll come back for it after when we're ready to get to the train station. And then I'm definitely going in with a bit of my foundation brush, because like I said, I brought this in considerably more than I was planning on. I also forgot my nose, so we're gonna do a little, yeah, and a little, and a little, and a little. I'm really loving this color combination with these eyes right now, not gonna lie. And next, honestly, this is gonna make or break the look because this is new and I haven't tried it like officially yet. Like I've been playing around with color combos, but this is from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is the Celestial Cheek Glaze that they did in the original collab with Ellis Atlantis. It's pink. I've been looking for a good pink highlighter. This is also just a eyeshadow brush because I didn't clean any of my highlighter brushes because I kind of forgot about this until I was like, oh, I'm gonna do, you know, kind of like raspberry pink. So we're gonna do very carefully because this isn't the right size. But we're gonna put that. I can't tell if I can see that. Do a little on the nose, just a little, because I don't want the color to overwhelm and get like casty. But yeah, they're gonna come with me, which is very nice. The only, like, we've done like one like trip together and that was just domestic, so it was just a day trip. But like, it's funny. Sorry, I don't know how I feel about this color. But like we had been, not like seriously, but like there was this place called Bite and Sip, I think, and they were doing a scallion pancake crab rangoon thing. I love scallion pancakes and crab rangoon, so we're like, we could do a day trip, totally. And then but that was a few weeks ago, not in any serious things. And now we're going together for a few days, so shout out. Now I won't lose my mind. And like, again, obviously I love them. I love traveling. At least having our little outings. I'm very glad to not have to eat the entirety of a pastry every time I buy it, and I'm not going to lose my mind for 6 days because I haven't talked to anybody in like any substantial ways. So thank you for keeping my psyche intact. So next I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Wherever Walnut, just because I want something a little more pink, and I don't really have many like really more like natural toned, like pink natural toned lip liners. But yeah, also I had someone with me the day this happened, so I made sure to ask him after I got off the phone with the lady. I'm like, I wasn't being like mean or like sarcastic or anything, was I? And I just didn't realize it. He's like, no, you were perfectly nice. Sorry, let me get my lip holder lined. But you know, literally right before I left, like I was about to clock out when the person called, so I went, okay. There's an Uber order out for delivery. She called, she's like, hey. And she's like, I put the wrong address, I need to cancel. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I have to cancel it after it gets delivered because otherwise you're just gonna be giving the Uber driver, you know, a free order. She's like, okay. And it literally had just gone picked up. Like there was 20 minutes between her placing it and her picking it up. So this is all. I didn't say it, but I'm like, oh, too bad you hadn't noticed, you know, a little while, like a few minutes before, because I would have been able to change it on my end in the system for you before it got picked up. She's like, well, I put the wrong address. I'm like, and then she hung up on me. I'm like, and like that is verbatim what I said in that tone. I'm like, you know, I'm so sorry. I could have changed this on my end. And also, how do you not triple check your address for delivery before submitting it? Like, I don't know if she put it through our website or like DoorDash or Uber, but DoorDash or Uber will also like give you 10 seconds to double check the address before you submit your order. So if she put it through there, that's on her. But I'm like, all I was And it wasn't like, oh, too bad he didn't do it. I could have, like, because I made sure to ask my coworker who's staying right there. I'm like, you heard my half of the conversation, right? He's like, yeah. So I told him what happened. He's like, there's no reason for her to react like that to you. I'm like, I know. This is from Wet n Wild. This is the lip oil in the shade Vintage Society. Kind of forgot I own this. This was a Skeepers thing. I haven't just need anything pink enough yet, so we're gonna see. I think that works pretty good, actually. Well, not good. It works well. This is also not as pigmented as I thought it was gonna be, so I had no reason to be scared. Not scared, but like concerned. There's peppermint in this. If something's not advertised as a plump and lip oil, why is there peppermint in it? This is evil. Awful. There's not an ingredients list. I can't peel here. My nails won't let me. But I need to go fix my bangs. But I should be back in a second. Alright. And this is the finished look. I love it. I mean, it's so insanely simple. Like, it's not even, like, colorful. And, like, I know that. But, like, I just needed something a little, like, not, like, different, but, like, tonally wise a little different. Because, again, I don't cool tone. I don't like how cool tones generally look on me. But this isn't so overwhelmingly, like, so contrasting, which is a little weird. But I don't understand the science of a holographic shimmer like this. But it's on the eyes. I think I'm going to use a different brush next time I use that shade, or maybe my finger because it just wasn't working with that one. But also finally found a really pink highlighter, and I don't think I like it that much. Like, I'm still going to use it. Again, also use a proper highlighter brush this time around, but I feel like it's not giving what I thought it was going to give. And like, I wanted, like, you know, pink. But yeah, now I need to go shovel. Yay me.